Morning, guys. Raptor Freak Alexiot here on Friday morning, and I just want to make a real quick video this morning, a Leo Rautins appreciation video, because yesterday it was announced by Sportsnet, Rogers Sportsnet, that Leo Rautins was going to be replaced on their broadcast as the color and commentator beside Matt Devlin, play-by-play, and the new person is going to be number 20 for the Raptors, Alvin Williams, which is fantastic, y'all. Seriously, I'm I have like both equal emotions about this. Really sad for Leo and appreciative of Leo, but also really happy for Alvin, because Alvin's been, guys, before Kyle Lowry became the greatest Raptor of all time, Alvin Williams was my favorite Raptor of all time. And Kyle really is like not totally my favorite Raptor either, but Alvin was my favorite Raptor he's been for a long time. Like, cause I used to work in the arena when they opened the Air Canada Center, and I was there when Vince came and when Alvin came, and I was a part of all that. And it was a whole different kind of time for the Raptors at that point, because Toronto and Canada didn't really understand the NBA or how to cheer for the teams, or even the nuts and bolts of basketball. And you know what? We can thank Leo Rautins for that to a degree. Leo Rautins was with the team, and he still is. I don't know what capacity he's going to be doing broadcasting. He may be just sitting in the room with Rod Black at the beginning of the game, at the end of the game, and at halftime. I mean, in fact, I would petition for this. It'd be great if we get Sam Mitchell off the broadcast, y'all. Just because he was a coach of the year and a coach for the Raptors doesn't mean he's a good broadcaster for us. First of all, he's egotistical, he's a bully, and he's a jerk. Between hearing him commentate the summer league games this summer in Vegas, and then hearing Rafer Alston's stories about when he was the coach and how he treated the players, like he was calling the players bitches and like telling them who they could date and who they couldn't date outside of like basketball. Really messed up stuff. So I've lost a lot of respect for Sam Mitchell. And maybe if his airtime went away and Leo slotted in that, but I really totally agree with this decision to let Alvin come and sit there. Alvin's been with Sportsnet for like 6-7 years right now, and he's done a good job overall. And Leo, for all his pluses and minuses, I'm gonna talk about Leo in depth here. He was getting stale, and I understand why people kind of find him annoying and stuff like that. But to me, I really enjoy listening to Leo call the game, because he really is a student of the game, and he really was good at laying it all out and teaching us what was happening out there and saying things about that. And if you really think about it, because he's been involved in broadcasting the Raptors since day one, there's only three originals: Rod Black, him, and Paul Jones. Those are the only three guys that have been doing it since the very, very beginning that are still around doing it. You can look at it and think about it this way. Leo Rautins, in some ways, is responsible for teaching the country of Canada the sport of basketball. We didn't know nothing about basketball. Trust me, I was in that arena in 2000. The fans didn't know nothing. It was a fad. People were going there just to be seen. It was a cool thing. They weren't serious about the team. They didn't understand the nuts and bolts. It wasn't until people like Leo and Jack came along and explained it in the game. Then people started to understand things about basketball that maybe they didn't care about. This country didn't care about basketball until the Raptors came. So we need to appreciate Leo, because he was our teacher. He taught us about the sport for 25 years, and he did a good job, y'all. I mean, I enjoyed listening to him. I put him in there with like guys that I used to love to watch when I was a kid or listen to, like Hubie Brown and Dr. Jack Ramsey. These are real guys that know about like the sport so much. Like, these are coaches that did so much. And Leo was in that category as a broadcaster to me. Somebody that could really break it down in the nuts and bolts of a situation on the court and teach you things. I love Leo. You guys don't even realize who Leo is. It's easy to kind of hate him because he's kind of a Christian Laettner type of guy. It's kind of like, But he has a tragic story and a triumphant story. If you really dig and look at his story, first he's a child of immigrant parents who came to Canada to escape the Soviets from the Baltic states. Like his parents are Latvian and Lithuanian, and they had to leave. This is like my family story. We had to leave Estonia. He had to leave his country and come here to Canada. He's an immigrant, and they didn't speak English, and they had to. His family had to go to the factory and work there, just like my family did when they came here, and built themselves to something on this continent. And it's a real Americana story in Canada, where you come to this country and you make something out of your life. And not only that, he made himself into a Canadian basketball legend. When Matt Devlin said that on those broadcasts, that wasn't being facetious, y'all. Leo Rautins is for real. Like, he was, on the Olympic team in the early 80s for Canada on the basketball team. Like that, we didn't have. When have we talked about the Canadian basketball team in any other eras other than more recently? And then, like, he was Canadian basketball for a while. And the sad thing about his NBA career, with his injury with his ankles, his first year with Philadelphia, sports medicine was different then. They didn't know what they were doing, and it really messed his career up. And it's sad how that happened, because his NBA dream was kind of lost then, and then he had to play in Europe most of his basketball career after that. See, Leo Rautins is a good dude, and he taught us so much, and we should appreciate him and thank him. But it was time for a change. Let's get real right now, y'all. This is 2021. We need to have more representative people on TV. I don't care. People are getting mad. Affirmative action, this or that. No, it should be that way. Alvin Williams played for the Raptors. He was in the playoffs. He hit big shots for the Raptors early in their playoff battles with New York. He was a hero for us, and he played next to Vince, and he knows his stuff. He's a great dude. I've met him a couple times in real life. He's a very, very good person. And I'm really happy and proud that he's going to be, the play-by-play or the color guy alongside Matt Devlin for Sportsnet now. Jack's not going anywhere. Jack's TSN. He'll be fine. Y'all aren't worrying about Jack Armstrong. But Leo is not going to be doing games this year. And some people will be really happy about that. I'm going to miss him. I'm really happy for Alvin and the opportunity he's getting, because he deserves it. He should get it. And I hope he succeeds and he kicks ass. Like, honestly, Alvin Williams is a true blue Raptor. He's been a Raptor since he came here. He was one of the first players in the franchise history that became loyal to us, like truly loyal to the Raptors. And that was unheard of in a time where everybody thought this was a joke franchise still. And we were the Barneys, and, we were being made fun of. Alvin wasn't afraid to hitch his wagon and say, I'm a Raptor and this is my team. And he's been around the team ever since. Like, whether it was as a coach for a little while or as now as a Sportsnet analyst, and now the color commentator for the games. It's going to be exciting. Also, I hope they do the all-female broadcast team again like they did last year. This is all a part of being more inclusive and diverse in who's doing the things. There's been too many white guys like me doing stuff. That's, we got to, step back and let other people have their time to shine too, because we've kind of had a stranglehold on things in a way, and that hasn't been fair, because of, racism and patriarchy and all kinds of other stuff. But anyway, congratulations, Alvin Williams. I was overjoyed to hear that news, but also at the same time, I was bittersweet and sad for Leo Rautins, a true Canadian legend, basketball legend. When Matt Devlin says he's not being facetious, Leo Rautins is a true Canadian basketball legend. And, it was weird. At the end of the season last year, they did a whole rah-rah for Leo, and I didn't totally understand it at the time. They brought him out a big, huge bottle of something, alcoholic or something, and he got sentimental. And I was wondering, why are they so sentimental? But now I know. They knew that he was going to be done at the end of last season, and that this announcement was going to be made yesterday. And it's just progress. It's just change. He had his shot for 25 years. You can't be mad about that. And he taught this country so much about basketball. I appreciate you, Leo Rautins, and I wish you well going forward. I hope to see you on TV still, giving your insight, even if it's just at the beginning and the end of the game. But man, Alvin, way to go, buddy. I'm gonna be so excited to hear you next to Matt Devlin this year too. It's a double-edged thing, man. I can be sad and happy at the same time, but I'll still root my team on. But yeah, all right, go Raptors. Don't be afraid to be passionate about your team, and y'all don't be half-assed about being a fan. Some of y'all are LeBron fans and then Raptor fans, and some of y'all are NBA fans and then Raptor fans. No, we ain't that in this house. No, sir. You're a Raptor fan first. You're not a player fan first. There's a lot of player fans that are fans of players over the teams or anything like that. Be a team fan. You can have players that are your favorites and follow them, but always be allegiance to your team. And some people are getting on, oh, Leo is too biased and stuff like that. You know what? You want our announcers to be biased. All announcers are biased. All sports announcers are biased to a certain extent. Their job is to get excitement, enthusiasm about the product. If they're sitting there just doing it like journalistic integrity with no bias, and forget about that. There's no journalistic integrity anymore. Everybody's biased in what they're writing and broadcasting and stuff like that at this point. Come on. Really, come on. Is there anybody who's truly neutral on anything? I want my announcers to get enthusiastic and excited about the team like I do. I don't want to sit there and listen to guys that are just like calling it right down the line. That's boring. That's stupid. I grew up with Orlando Magic announcers, Chip Carey and Jack Goose Gibbons. And those dudes really brought it up. And they were unabashedly and unashamedly homers. Home team announcers should be homers. And anybody who thinks, oh, there should be journalistic integrity about how they call the game, you're stupid. Because there isn't. And when you hear the American telecast, we're painted as heels, always. We're always painted as the bad guys. So why can't we have, for our broadcast, the good guys and have some enthusiasm and excitement and some homerism for our broadcast? Ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? All right, there's my passion, baby. Raptor Freak out. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you, guys. I'm loving the responses and everything. You guys really know your stuff. Thank you. All right, have a great weekend, everybody.